Hello again. Over the past few weeks, I have been sharing my thoughts and my experiences, just kind of like therapy, just kind of sharing some things that I've experienced as I've deconverted and deconstructed, and as I've lived the past 10 years of my life as an atheist in somewhat of a prayer closet. And so, of course, over the past few weeks, I've just been kind of sharing some of those things, and I've gotten a lot of comments. And in those comments, which I do read through, and I try to respond to most of them, I've noticed a trend of common assumptions. And so I did want to kind of address those assumptions. And I have written a few notes down about these assumptions. So we'll start with the first one. The most common assumption that I see is you're an atheist because you were hurt in church, or you're an atheist because someone hurt you, or something about being hurt in church. The fact that so many people assume this, despite me never mentioning any church hurt in any of my videos on this channel, demonstrates that most Christians are aware that the church is absolutely damaging people. Every time you make that assumption, you demonstrate your awareness of the alarmingly high rate of church hurt that exists and your willingness to excuse it at all costs. Such assumption also demonstrates that you don't consider rampant abuse as a valid reason to leave or disassociate. That is highly cult-like behavior, and you should probably seek help before you hurt somebody if you haven't already. The next one that I hear a lot of is you're an atheist because you want to sin. From my experience, believing in a God has stopped nobody from sinning. Just take a look at the church itself and the long line of sin-laden scandals, or just how sexual sins in the church is just as common as gossip. So no, that's probably the most ridiculous one, especially even when you consider basic prison statistics demonstrate that over 90% of the population in prison believe in a God. So no. Nobody has to stop believing in God to sin. If I wanted to sin and believe in God, because your theology believes that no one could be perfect, obviously I could still sin and believe in God. So that one is just ridiculous. You were never one of us. That's the other one I hear. Well, he was never saved. He was never a pastor. He was never filled with the Holy Spirit. He never kissed the foot of the Magi, whatever, just weird stuff. You were never one of us. To that I say, thank you. You are right in one aspect. While I did practice your beliefs, I did not participate in your behavior. And I thank you for recognizing that. I am appreciative of the disassociation. The other one is you're angry at God. You're angry at God right now. And I get how you can think that, or how they can think that if you have an imaginary friend. But I no longer believe in these things, so I don't have an imaginary friend to be angry at. So what I would say to that is, am I angry at Zeus because I don't believe in Zeus? Am I angry at Thoth because I don't believe in Thoth? Am I angry at Oleron because I don't believe in him? Right? Am I angry at voodoo because I don't believe it doesn't work? Right? So this is an extreme fallacious argument, and it just makes no sense. A simple concept that escapes believers is that if someone does not believe in a thing, the thing itself becomes irrelevant. And so where there was once emotional attachment, there's now indifference. So any blame that I would have ever had for God, I can now clearly see the natural factors, the activity or the lack thereof that contributed to those causes. So even if my life was really bad, I wouldn't be angry at God. I'd be probably angry at the people and the systems that contributed to that. And even then, I'm a little more mature than that. But I see why you would think that still sitting at the children's table. And then the last one, which is just as common as the rest, is you either didn't go to the right church, or you wasn't a part of the right denomination, or you didn't go to the right religion. And the fact that any of them can say this, the fact that anybody says this, is just mind-blowing to me, because that's only you admitting of how confusing and conflagrated this all is to even try to believe in this thing. So this assertion only works to demonstrate the inadequacy of an all-powerful being to make himself known. And it also ignores that my stance as an atheist has absolutely nothing to do with my problem with belief or the interpretation thereof. My stance stems from a lack of evidence, reason, or relevance for anything supernatural, period. So it doesn't matter if you have a different interpretation of this supernatural event. It does not matter if your version of God is nicer. It doesn't matter if you believe your version of God, performs miracles on babies and buttocks or whatever. It really doesn't matter to me. What you're failing to understand is, as an atheist, without reason, I'm not interested. If you can't evidence me this supernatural event, I don't want to hear your testimony of it. I don't want to hear your anecdote. And that's just been me. Even when I was a Christian, I didn't enjoy testimonials, because I was very well understood. It was very easy for me to understand that people lie, and a lot, and that actually many times people lie without even knowing that they're lying, because people can convince themselves of all types of things. So no, I'm not interested in a different version of the same pie. I'm not interested in a different version of a different pie. If there's anything supernatural in it, I'm not interested. And I say that respectfully. I don't mean that condescendingly, but I will not be the one to participate in your delusions. Thank you.